This was my husband who is deceased. All of those are deceased. But this is my daughter and my son and my nephew who are still alive. When a child becomes a stranger to their own story, mental illness rises, suicide rises, hopelessness takes root. It's something about reading that has not been put inside of them.
Also, the power of interconnectedness. All these are very fundamentally important. And I think we are also living that today. Because right now, we are connecting across borders. Connecting, I'm in Europe, you are in the UK, the other ladies are in the United States. That is, we are connecting. That is essentially what we are doing. And those that are going to be listening to this episode are going to be connected from different parts of the world. So we need to keep on building on this memory. It's not something that needs to be done only for one day. We are going to continuously reinforce and improve on it, add to the collection of this memory that we are building together. We are doing this together, and we need to continue to do this. All right, Dr. Gwendolyn, we have listened to Sister Gloria, who have shared with us from the point of view of our work as an ancestral healing coach and practitioner. Now, what do you say, looking at it from the point of view of your work, talking about the conversation of today, which is memory?
Thank you so much always for this opportunity and the team that you have put together to make us conscious and to help others become conscious of the world that we live in and our world of the past. I'd like to first say that I'm an educator, a reading specialist. I have a PhD in literacy, cognition, and leadership. I have a new book out called Who Says I Can't? It's a 4-year plan to erase the reading gap and achieve proficiency by 4th grade. I would like to start off with, I come before you and those who are listening with a heavy heart because I know what it means when children are raised as strangers to themselves. And I want to say something personal. Before my mother, I want to show you a picture of my mother, my father, and this was my husband who is deceased. All of those are deceased. But this is my daughter and my son and my nephew who are still alive. This is a treasure that I have, and it helps my grandboys recognize who their elders are. And I have tubs of these and also photo albums and all kinds of things so that once a month they come over and I help them to have the memories that they need about their grandfather, their mother's father, and my mother and father and my aunts. But the children that I work with as a principal, as a teacher, as a curriculum developer, and also as an international literacy specialist, I see so many children who don't have these opportunities that my grandchildren have. Because I know and they know who their ancestors are, and they're not strangers. They're not being raised as strangers to themselves. When a child becomes a stranger to their own story, mental illness rises, suicide rises, hopelessness takes root. Mental illness. My sister is the director of social services in Indiana, and she's worked with men who have battered their significant others and women who have battered their significant others or they have been battered. Last week, a little boy that she knew in kindergarten, first, second, third, he is now 13 years old, and he went with an older boy into a 7-Eleven and killed the clerk. And his mother asked my sister to come to the court and to speak on behalf of him. 13 years old. And they tried him like an adult, and he will be in prison for 50 years. Because of my sister being in the court environment and knowing the judges and attorneys, they listened to her and decided that they would give him another trial. So they're going to have another one. And I'm sure that my sister will be a part of that. I think sometimes we forget that Black people were brought to America not just for our labor, but for our intellect. They knew our genius and they feared it. And still the policies, the silences, and the distractions of this present age continues to minimize our role and devalue our intellect. And this is why we must talk about memory and story and voices, because without them, the soul of a people will die. And I refuse to let the souls of my grandchildren die because of this. And here, I cannot help but hear Aretha Franklin's words. She says, "When my soul is in the lost and found, you came along to claim it." But here is our crisis. At this very moment, nobody is going to claim our students. Now, Aretha was talking about a love interest that we had. We're talking about humanity and helping our children claim who they are. Their brilliance is sitting unclaimed in the lost and found boxes of American education. I remember my last year as a principal, we had a lost and found box, and it was always filled with clothes. I mean, designer clothes. This was a high poverty school, but the kids came to school with all the designers that you could think of, and they would leave those clothes, and we would take them class by class to dig into this box to try to find out if they owned any of those things. And believe it or not, no one would say, "That's my jacket," or "That's my hat," or they wouldn't even say that anything belonged to them. And so it made me think that their brilliance is sitting unclaimed in lost and found boxes of American education. Their culture, their intellect, their fire, all waiting for someone to pick it up and say, "This belongs here, this belongs to us." So instead, too many children are left misplaced, misidentified as behavior problems. Right now, my sister said in her school, the first day of school, kids were being sent to the office. Why? It's something about reading that has not been put inside of them that they can't stay in the classrooms. And parents were being called for kindergartners on the first day of school. My sister, who is the director of social services, rode the bus to take a little boy home. And when she got off the bus with the little boy, his mother was standing up there with 5 earrings in her ear, some short shorts, and the grandmother was sitting there with tattoos all over her arm. And the mother said, "Oh, well, he was just like me when I was in school." That's not acceptable. Behavior problems, mislabeled with disabilities, miseducated by strategies that never reached their thinking. They are brilliant, but brilliance in the lost and found